Okay, we are recording.
Hi.
Hi.
Awkward.
Hi.
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 So Mary, you know Mary, right? I think we've chatted before.
Yeah.
Mary and I are like sisters.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mary and I
Good
had
to
a
see
great
you.
ride to the airport years ago.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
cool.
great.
Oh yeah, from my
And you've
house, right?
been we also talked a couple months ago too.
No,
So
we've been
thank you for that. That was great.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, so we want to meet. And Chris, we're sorry if you're hearing this secondhand. I messed up the time. So, but wanted to get together with Kim to kind of go over just to kind of explain to you the main differences between the old like professional health coaching model that we were doing and what we're doing now in what we're calling the Win World. So Kim, do you want to kind of explain like how you got this started and what the goals are for what we're doing now?
Okay. So good. Hi, Chris, and hi, Mary, and hi, Carrie. Carrie. Oh, wait.
Oh, no, don't go there.
Never heard that before.
No.
Anyway, so it's coming up on 15 years. It'll be 15 years in July that I started just as a client without any hope that any of this would work. And the first week, as you know, is Christmas. And I was like, what? And I know how to build this kind of business, relationship marketing kind of business. And so when I saw what was happening with my body and I saw this business model and I saw my need financially for my life, it was like the perfect storm. So my second week, I became a coach, but this is in retrospect. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you from now, this perspective, going back to that time. I really thought I had the golden chalice. Like I really felt like I had the goose that laid the golden egg, that everybody's going to want what I have. And now I can keep my weight off. This is never going to be a problem again. And I became this coach because that's what the company, actually little known fact here. You know what we were called back then, by the way? I don't even think you guys know this. We were called health advisors.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? And then
Yeah.
we were vacillating back and forth with terms, and then coach ended up sticking. But it really was health advisor back in the beginning. Anyway, just FYI. I'm just now thinking of that. But anyway, I didn't care either health advisor or health coach. It didn't fit my identity of being a healthy person. I hated exercise. I was a junk food junkie. I was a stressed out mom. I had zero identity as a healthy person, really. So I was like a 2 on that scale from 1 to 10. But so I just said to friends that I were just talking, because this is not a telepathic business. So I had to tell my story. But I said, hey, come do this with me. Just come do this with me. I'm probably going to need you way more than you need me. That was my mindset way back August of 2007. Well, anyway, then I went into the mode of coach, and then the training, and people do what people do. So when you're called that, and that's what's postured and that's what's trained, I just did it too. But little by little, I started noticing and I wasn't a consummate dieter, by the way. So I hadn't dieted all my life and I didn't understand the diet conundrum. But doing the 5 and 1 and then seeing the situation that kept happening with me, like after I lost my 50 pounds, easiest thing I've ever done. How many of us said that story, right? Well, it was like winning the lottery. It was just like, okay, I'm good to go now. I'm good to go. I know how to do it, but it doesn't work again the next time or the next time or the 57th time. But what happens is, and this is the dieting conundrum, is dieters will keep trying to do that thing that works so well the first time. And then they fall off the wagon because they cheat, they fall off. But I'm going to really start tomorrow. Syndrome creates a Last Supper. Mm-hmm. So I was watching, and then the dieters put their weight back on doing Last Supper.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, this is I think, number one reason dieters put weight back on is because they try to stay on a diet. They fall off. Survival brain. This is all kind of about my book. So, but I'm telling you, like, honestly, that realization of the dieting thing didn't really happen till probably 3 or 4 years into me building a big business, me coaching clients, coaches. I was watching this happen. I'm like, wait, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that. And the 5 and 1 is a diet for a lot of these people. So but wait, I said it's not a diet. But how can it be a diet? Because I said it's not. Well, diet is as diet does. And diet, it looks like a duck and walks like a duck. So anyway, so through my business building, I really worked with a great team of people. I had a great business, and I just kept noticing this component in people, not just about dieting, but just that voice that says, I'm not okay, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. So I'm catching up quick, but I stepped away from all the leadership of the company and the field and my team. And I just said, I'm going to get out of the trenches. I'm here for you if you need me on a head coaching thing, or like the event I did at Carrie's with just monster stuff, because that's my book. But I stepped away to write the book, and I was like really having a hard time with the diet part of the program, because I couldn't do it anymore. It was like, I felt like I was complicit. I felt like I was a drug dealer in a way. Like, I can't be a drug dealer. But I knew that that wasn't the heart of the people. And I knew some people didn't get snagged in the diet thing. So it wasn't an all or nothing idea either. So I wrote the book, stepped away for about 5 years. A year ago today, which makes me, I got to do my yearly live about my epiphany today. A year ago today, I turned 60, and I really did have like a lightning bolt epiphany from God, saying, because all the work I've done since the book of learning how to help people rewire, I did NLP, I did hypnosis, I did breath works. And I started this little thing called Ignite Vision. And every morning these people meet, whether I'm on or not, and they do an exercise, a rewiring exercise. So I've been doing that since the book. But the message was, you know what, Kim, bring all the tools you've been doing over there and bring it back into the trenches of Optavia. And you know what? That day, I would have had immense resistance. I had immense resistance about getting back in the trenches over the years. My husband would say, what if you got busy again? I'm like, no, that really visceral response to no, I don't want to do that. But when this message came, it was like okay, because this messaging, the program has traction in the world. People come. They weren't coming to inner peace. They weren't responding to the message of inner peace even during COVID. They weren't coming, beating down my door like I thought they would. What? Everyone's in fear. Why aren't you coming? I've got relief over here. But they weren't. But they're going to come through the door of losing 20 pounds. They're going to come through that door because it's the squeakiest wheel. They can't hear that message yet until they get, okay. So that brought me back. But now I can't do it in structure either, because what I noticed when I was over the years of contemplating what was happening to my friends and my business and everything in that Optavia world, I lost so many friends and business associates and people that loved our cause, loved what we were doing, loved our community, but they couldn't navigate the term health coach. They couldn't navigate that title. And even in the world today, the health coach title carries a lot of meaning in the world and inside people. So it triggers that monster about, I got to be the guru. I got to take care of all these people. I've got to be the example. I'm out of integrity, blah, 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 blah. I used to be able to sit and do client support calls eating M&Ms. I could navigate it, but most people could not. So they leave. But then I'm like, okay, Mary, let me just ask you this. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'll ask both of you. On a scale from 1 to 10, how essential of having a health coach, not how great your health coach was, listen to the question, but how essential was having a health coach to the success you saw? Mary? 1 to 10.
Right. I mean, it was probably a 2, 3, I don't know.
She's a friend, right? She introduced you to it.
She became a friend. Yeah. And
that's true.
And I mean, to be honest, I'm in, as I've gone through this process, this journey, I've realized I like external validation, which isn't always healthy. So for me, it almost became, that kind of fed into my need for that validation, which isn't always healthy. And Carrie's great, but again, and I think we've realized this too through the years, is that we can also create a codependency for people that, I need you to, they put all this burden on the health coach too. And it's like,
Yeah.
so, but no, absolutely, I could have done this.
You did do it.
I did. Yeah,
In
for
fact,
sure.
Most people do it in spite of their coach because their coach is bugging the crap out of them. And that's why our clients don't call us or accept our calls, or, in the beginning, they're like, sure, yeah, let's talk once a week. But once they kind of get down the road, they're like, either one of two things: they're doing fine and don't need you and don't need the extra enforcement, or they're struggling, cheated, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to let you down. They don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to have you be their priest. They don't want to feel like they, and you don't. So Carrie, what about you? Scale from 1 to 10.
I didn't need my coach at all.
Yeah. So my point is, why are we keeping up this illusion? And why are, to your point, Mary, having this title make someone feel like I'm a worthy oh, they need me. Oh, they need me. And insert my need to be needed into somebody that hasn't asked or paid for me. They didn't ask for me and they didn't pay for me. So their intrinsic motivation for me, other than a friend, like if you have a friend and you want to do it together, that's healthier. But I'm not responsible for you and I don't want to feel responsible for you. I'm going to just coach me. How about that? And you coach you. I'll show you what I'm doing. You show me what you're doing that works, and we'll be peer reciprocals, right? So for me, it's such a healthier relationship and it's a healthier message because, anyway, all those reasons. So that's one thing. I came back to create this new world for me. Talked to a few of the coaches that were kind of floundering while I was away because I didn't really have a big team to plug into. And I said, okay, you guys, I'm coming back, but here are the things I'm going to do. Number one, we're going to have a daily touch point. What? A call once a day? Kim, I'm already called out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're called out doing that health coach training thing.
Right.
So what if you got rid of that, let go of the pressure of that, and actually just became a real person on your own health journey? And we're just going to talk as like a health church. We're just going to be a community serving the community instead of a one-on-one, like I've got to be responsible for you. So get rid of all those calls you're on that are training you how to be a professional health coach. And we're just going to have a touch point once a day. Now, not everyone gets on it either, and that's okay. But that's what we're providing and really from a coaching standpoint, what more could a health coach do for anybody than the win calls are doing already? Right? Like, how am I going to help you anymore? And plus you have to decide to get on the call. So that's your impetus. That's 99% of it right there, is you making the decision to show up and then doing whatever we're doing on the call, like the little, maybe participating. Those leaders are going to spark, Mary. I can't wait for that spark to hit you to where you're going, yeah, let me at them. I want in the inner circle. I'm a leader. I want to facilitate. I want to share. I want to do backup. Like, we have a whole thing now where we have 2 win calls a day, and it requires a little army to take care of the scheduling and the, who's doing what. And then I'm training the trainers, I'm training the facilitators, because that's who's really, we're only using facilitators that are gifted in that way, because it's like church. Not everyone's the organist, not everyone's the soloist, not everyone's the preacher. We all have gifts, right? So we're going to let people use their gift to serve the many, not the one and one. So, anyway, and also health coaches couldn't navigate that world, even if they could physically, and they didn't struggle with the physical part of it. They struggled with the workload. Like, it was a lot of work.
And I was working at the same time too. I mean, I had a huge business. You can ask Carrie.
A lot of work.
And I mean, and here we are trying to teach, work-life balance. And meanwhile, and that's why I got lost, was that I truly felt like a fraud. I felt like a fraud. I'm out here and I knew that I didn't feel safe with what I was sharing, and that, how my life has changed, because I wasn't being authentic. I wasn't being vulnerable to teach people that, the real world isn't like your life somehow gets better after you lose 50 pounds. Life,
it can get worse. It can get worse.
And I think that's what happened, was that it just became this, I am in essentially selling something, let's be real, I'm offering something that it didn't align with who I am as a person. And it went so much deeper. And that's always been me. That's always been my heart. And that's where I lost just like you, it just lost its value. My identity was like, I gained on my weight plus 10 pounds and my life imploded. I got divorced. I lost my mom. Like my life was hell. Like it was shit.
Yeah.
And how can I get up every single day and go out there and go, hey, I've got this amazing program for you. Like it just didn't align. And so
and here's the sad thing though, is it's needless to have even that pressure. So this world is, we are like all doing it together so we can struggle, we can be authentic. I don't have to take care of you. You know how many times my people that I'm inviting, or maybe my clients, they're getting on win calls I'm not even on.
Right.
And you guys are taking care of them. They're finding what they need in the community. They're finding what they need and they're showing up for themselves. It's not on me. In fact, Sherry Martinson is a great example. She'll get on not a win call, but a huddle afterwards and just go. And she has just facilitated the win call. And even during the win call, she'll go, I've had a crappy week, you guys. I'm just like, okay, I need you. I'm glad I'm facilitating because I need you today. Who would do that over in that world, right? No, everybody has to keep up some sort of okay, look, live your life out loud as long as it looks good. Live your life out loud. But don't live your life out loud if there's any hurt or struggle, because we want to be attraction marketing.
Right.
Anyway, so for me, so let me be clear though, I'm not against the health coach model. I just don't think it's for everyone. And I think for every one person that succeeded and thrived in that model, 10 to 20 didn't. Sure. And of those 10 to 20, maybe 15 weren't going to do it no matter what model it is, right? Because that's the law too. But I think I came back from my heart was to salvage or to offer a safety net for specifically coaches that couldn't navigate. Like if we bring new people in, great. But my heart was like, hey, I've lost a ton of friends. I've lost people that would have stayed in this community and would come back, and their health is suffering because they looked at it as a diet. That's the second thing that I'm bringing back, that what I wanted to create here is, sure, if you want to do 5 and 1, but watch for these danger signs, the danger signs of dieting. And no one's really talking about that because they don't think, they're delusional to say it's not a diet. Well, for someone with the identity of an 8, 9, 10, it might not be a diet. They might just do it to tune up, might just, do a few little, but they've got already a healthy identity. So they're already doing behaviors that are healthy, that 5 and 1 is just really propelling and helping them. But they don't get stuck in diet mode, and they're not yo-yoers, and they're not emotional eaters. They might be emotional other things though. So that's why you can't even look at someone's body and think they've got it together, because I've seen that. Anyway, so I want to take away the diet messaging, because would you agree the program that you came in, I taught was very, are you on, are you off?
For sure.
Program. Are you on program? What does that mean? You mean the diet?
Right.
So I'm taking away all the pressure of that and all the languaging. I would rather us have healthy grab and go food. We have great food. And I'd rather be an affiliate that just leads people to the food. Yeah. And to the community.
Carrie and I were talking about that too. It's like just a way of life that it's just, this is just a way of life that, and it should have clearly been taught to us as children, but here we are, like 50-year-olds trying to rewire our brains.
Well, that's when it usually hits that you need it. Usually up until about 40-ish, you think it's everyone else's fault.
Yep.
It's my coach's fault. It's Optavia's fault. It's this person's
my husband.
fault.
It's my parents. It's my kids.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Somebody else.
And so that's what I really love about it. I think for me, my biggest questions, Carrie, are, and it isn't rewiring as kind of a representative with this. So when I have people interested, and I'm so wired toward, well, let's get on an assessment call, and I'm going to go over, like, and again, and so the tools that I have to awaken folks to this process and how to,
Have you
because
seen
for
the
some of the,
wellness? Have you seen the wellness discovery form
yes, I have. Carrie guided me to that, and it
and the
isn't
script?
caring and sharing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
So I
the
know where,
script that goes through
yep,
the conversation?
yep. And I can go through that because I can find that in
It's a
caring and
natural.
sharing.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
powerful.
I printed
And but I'm
that.
not keeping track of people. I'm not charting like
Right.
a nurse. I'm like,
And there's no
okay,
daily text, and it's, and then, so let's say you onboard a new client. Are you sending them, how do you get them ready for like the win calls, especially, and things like that? Like they do probably at the beginning need to have like some cue that says win call to get them going. What do you recommend on that?
so, and that is kind of where we are right now with people that are getting clearer about how to help those new people get started specifically without feeling the need that that coach has to do it or that affiliate has to do it. So we're gonna, I think the plan is, and we'd love, see, you're in the co-creation of this with us right now. Like this is
Okay.
exactly what we need,
That's
is
fine.
people like you
Yeah.
that are gonna help give suggestions. And Carrie's been essential, and everyone has skills and perspectives that if they align with this philosophy, how would we do it to where it's fitting the philosophy of the community or the guides in the group, but yet building the relationship? Because this is the other thing. Some
Mhm.
people heard this in the beginning that, oh, I'm never going to call them. Oh, you're on your own. Goodbye, goodbye. Right? Like it's all or nothing. The difference is that these people are not your assignment. Like they're not, you don't hold them like they're my clients.
Mhm.
That
Right.
that wording and imagery is, or my coaches. Let go of that my thing. That's your ego. That's fear.
Yeah.
That's your, right? So let the community do as much of that as possible. The win calls, the huddles. We're going to implement, Sherry Martinson was talking the other day about, she goes, I think we need, well, the open mic on Saturday started to be like a platform for new clients to come ask questions, just like,
Uh-huh.
5-in-1 or program or whatever
Okay.
questions, right? They could come ask. What about this? What about that? But the huddles have become so comprehensive that
Mhm.
I don't hear many people asking program questions. So
Right.
one of the things that she talked about we could implement is like a Wednesday night. Right now, we don't have the staff to handle every,
Right.
like, first of all, we moved our PM call to 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. because of
Right.
East Coast and Central Coast people, right?
Yeah.
Central time. But we lost a lot of West Coast people doing that because it's 5 p.m. They're just getting off work. They're missing. I'm hearing all kinds of West Coast people. Hello, why is that? Can we? So, and I don't know that we've really seen the rise of Central and, East
Okay.
Coasters to offset what we lost from the West. But I know that it's a process of you guys communicating more and more and more to
Sure.
your people. And 8 p.m. your time Central, or
It's
no, sorry, 7 p.m.
7.
your time,
Mhm.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
9 p.m. Eastern was just too late for a lot of East Coast people because they were winding down, they were going to bed, blah, blah, blah. So what we are thinking about
Okay.
implementing is a Wednesday night only, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m., like having 2 win calls that night, basically. But the 6 p.m. huddle be a client and a new affiliate kind of go into breakout rooms even after that call, where if you're, so you would send your new clients to that win call to check it out,
Right.
but also there's a great little Q&A after that. So be
Okay.
ready to jump on that. And, but you know what, here's the thing, people are, or they aren't. I mean, you know that, right? So a lot of people are going to still come in and do a diet. They're still going to come in and go, okay, I read my little book. Maybe they're looking at the face. That's why I put them in the Facebook group. And
Right.
we have a lot of interaction about diet mentality in there. I love our Facebook group right now. It's
I do
really
too.
becoming more, and people lurk. They do read and they are listening. And then,
Yeah. Even if they're not liking or hearting, they're definitely watching.
yep.
I'm amazed at, yeah, I just find that on my personal page a lot too. Just
Yep.
like, what, yeah.
So I would like that to be, as you know, with the hat on of, I don't want to take these people on as an assignment, but I also want to, there's nothing to it but to do it in terms of relationships. So
Right.
you're going to be on the phone a lot. You're going to be talking to people, but I would always be thinking, and I've been trying to instruct these leaders about this. Why are you doing one-on-one calls with this people? Why aren't you doing like client or, you know, like community calls? Like Carrie, remember one time I go, hey guys, I texted this little group of leaders and I'm like, I'm going in to talk to, because I look at
told
who's
me
on the
that.
win call and I reach out to those people and I'm like, I don't know who you are. I want to know your story. Then I bring them into Zoom and they're always willing because they're win call attenders. They love it. They want to tell their story to me. They want to tell me or anybody what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So then I text my leaders, hey, just pop in and say hi to Denise in the win room. Come in the win room and say hi. Carrie, you did it, right? One time?
I did.
Or you tried to?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so then during this early part of the call, like the first 5 minutes, I got Randy popping in. I got Sherry Martinson. I got Carrie. They're just like, hey, yes, good. I've seen your name on the win calls. Good to meet you officially. I live here. Where do you live? Okay. Well, they're not spending the whole half hour with me, but they're touching each person and they're not in their line of sponsorship. They're not getting made in.
Yeah.
Why are we thinking that way? Stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It speaks to my heart completely. And that's
Yep.
exactly what this is about is just being real.
Yep.
And really it is about reality and that it's unwiring perfection and control and just really, you know, the habits and really that is what living and healthy living looks like. And
Yeah.
It's going to take you a minute. Sherry Martinson probably is the one that's been the most vocal of this transition from door 1 to door 2.
Okay.
And back in the day in the summer, she said to me one time when she was just making this, and I say, don't do it if you don't want to. Stay if you're happy, stay. Like I'm not recruiting people. I told my leaders, I go, listen, I'm not competing against you. Believe me, you've got a big business. You're part of my business. I'm excited if it's working over there. Everybody's happily married. Nobody's going to commit adultery if they're happily married. You know what I'm saying? So
Hopefully.
stay there. But this is like, hopefully send people that aren't thriving in that world. Don't try to get them to thrive and push them. And that's what's pushing them away. Send them over here and just see. And maybe we can, maybe we can't. I don't know. I'm not making any promises, but try.
I agree.
Right?
Well, you know, I was talking to Carrie about this the other day too, and it's about maybe some coaches that are in Carrie's line that decided to go. And I told Carrie, it's a little bit like a relationship you have with a man and you're dating and you realize through this relationship, we're just not aligned. Like it either works or it doesn't. And you both respectfully kind of honor each other's decision to go a different direction.
Right.
And there's really no love lost. You honor each other in the space you're at.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I would want for someone else is, hey, you know, let's not try to fit this square peg in a round hole and say it works. Let's just honor that and then move forward. Like, because I told Carrie, the people who love you, the people who know you will follow you, will go with you. You built that trust.
Yeah.
And it may be one person, but that's okay. It only takes one person to start. And so, because Carrie and I, we do get each other in that way where we just have like, it's a soul sister relationship where we both have been through struggles. And in fact, what connected us was through struggle, not through, hey, I lost 50 pounds. I was like, oh, but guess what? I had a fight with somebody, whatever, you know, that's the truth really is how do I remain connected with my purpose, with what I want for the best life and stay authentic doing that.
Yep.
And I think that's why a lot of coaches just kind of fall to the wayside because it just doesn't feel authentic anymore. It's burnout is what it is. And a lot of coaches like have private messaged me, Kim, I haven't told you this, but I've gotten a lot of little messages like, hey, so I just noticed you're doing this now. Like, why? Like, cause they saw me, you know, becoming global in the old world. And they were like, why in the world would she change? Why in the world would she? So it's perception. Like Kim is speaking exactly to what struggle I was going through. It was just, I don't know if it just gets old over time or too many times of saying this is not a diet and then struggling with how in the world am I supposed to make this sound like it's not a diet when I'm telling people specifically 6 ounces of chicken and a cup and a half of lettuce.
You didn't weigh it? Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
know.
And you know what? This morning, the life book element, I knew the title. In fact, I had changed the title. I had condensed the title on the schedule that just said optimizing your success, but it's all about how to do 5 and 1 perfectly.
Oh,
And
my
it even says, I'm like, I'm not talking about this.
no.
It said, and remember, if you do eat something off, you're going to be 2 to 3 days back getting into fat burning. I'm like, I am not saying that. That's the devil to me. Stop.
Yep.
So we are using the life book as it applies to this philosophy, because I think there are like
Sure.
his elements on higher consciousness. And I know that there are people that really think they need such huge structured
Mhm.
commands until they don't. And then I want to sing that higher, I want to propose the higher messaging of intuition. Let's connect to that deeper you. That's going to help you. Let's change your identity to a healthy person. And guess what? Healthy people go with their own rules. They can eat a cookie. They're not going to eat 12. It's trying to stay in that diet that makes them go eat 12.
Yep.
So anyway,
And
I think that,
you remember, Mary, we used to send clients, like we used to have like 5,000 messages, like Monday or the first day, second day, third day, like we would have messages to send people. And I mean, it was like juggling to me.
Yeah.
And it was almost in my brain, it was impossible to really teach someone else that. I would just pray and hope that they could manage it like I did, which you know how that goes. So I just want to
well, let me tell you, when I started, I didn't get a text every day and I did okay. Did you?
Exactly.
Yep. And I don't even.
Well, Carrie, yes, of course I did.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you just an example. Okay. So like a real world example of a new client and what I'm doing now. That's will blow your mind. Okay. So this new lady just started or I didn't start her. She started. And I didn't even know when her box was coming. Okay. So I'm not even doing that. I'm like, well, if they want to let me know, they'll let me know and whatever. So I don't panic anymore. If they start after I send them the day one, that's over. So I literally thought, well, Angie's had her box probably. I better just see how she's doing. So this is what I said verbatim. How are you doing so far today? Like, that's all I said. Mm-hmm. She's like, so far, so good. And I said, awesome. And she goes, thank you for checking in. I'm like, I remember having new clients that they would just give me a thumbs up.
Yep.
Because, we would send them a video and a message and rules to follow and just very, And I don't think a lot of people ascribe to that. They don't want that. They didn't pay for that,
Right.
So that's literally all I'm doing with this girl. And then this morning, because I'm just doing this because I'm thinking about her. Honestly, she wasn't even on my calendar, but I remembered that she was just starting. Doesn't matter what day. So I just said, hey, hope you have a great day today. Don't forget water, water, water. Like literally just telling her what I would want to hear. And she's like, good morning. Yes, I wanted to snack last night, but I didn't. I drank 90 ounces of water. I said, awesome. Like she's telling me more in this kind of communication than clients would tell me in the past, which is kind of what I think, at least what I wanted. I wanted to have the validation of, hey, do you see that I'm caring about you? Do you see that I want to help you or at least be there for you? So that's literally all I'm doing. No more daily messages. In fact, I tell people, if I'm Zooming with them, I'll hold up the book and I'll say, hey, you're going to get this in your box. Be sure to read it. I'm no longer hand holding.
Right.
And
enabling.
And Kim, we were talking about making a little video about what to do when your box comes. I was just thinking, I'm going to make my own little short video of me because it's me, right? I don't want to send them XYZ from whatever. I want to send them me so they can see me talking.
Yep.
And just a very short video about, hey, I'm so excited you got your box. This is what I did, or this is what I suggest. Just like I would send to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So like think of me when you're talking to somebody. What would I tell Carrie? If Carrie was just starting and she had no idea what to do, what would I tell her? Like, what would I want her to
I
know?
would first say breathe. That would be me.
There you go.
All this food, I have no clue what to do.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I absolutely agree. We just need to, create, something that shows, truth and reality and realists and just,
And invite him to the win calls. Like I have to remember to keep saying, hey, have you gotten on a win call yet? Hey, have you gotten on a win call yet? Because a lot of people aren't going to naturally, like there's resistance to that, even if you 2 minutes a day. But what I'm finding is that if somebody's struggling with anything, do you know what I'm going to say? Win call. I'm going to say, have you been on a win call lately? Oh,
right.
Well, and if you look at that wellness discovery conversation, it's very powerfully postured.
Okay.
And it's like you're asking them because you want to find out who you're talking to. I can guarantee you that people that are just going to tune up and do a little, weight loss thing, they're not going to probably answer the call to a win call. They don't need it, right?
Right.
So who the win calls really are, who they're for, in my opinion, is those people who have emotional eating issues that are consummate dieters. And I'm also looking for affiliates that really want to make an impact in the world, because I'm done with, like, the clearer I get with who I'm looking for, the clearer my messaging gets, the more the target market will hear. What happens is, and this has just been a recent aha for me at a deep level, the more I try to keep everybody happy and I hear the voice that says, Kim, they're not ready to hear that yet. I don't care if they're not ready to hear it. That's not going to stop me from saying it. Because the more I don't say it, the ones that are needing what my message is aren't going to hear it, because I'm so busy trying to placate the people that aren't going to hear it no matter what.
Exactly.
And look at us. We came through the diet door, but we felt the pull to something more, right? So the people are there. And I had this girl that I've just been sending win call invitations over the last almost year, a little bit here and there. She was an old client coach, not of mine, somewhere down on my team, but we've been Facebook friends. And she's a very spiritual person. Like, I like her posts. Her posts speak to me about her philosophy. So over the last few months, I've just sent her little invitations. She got on a win call once and then blah, blah, blah. Recently, I sent another, I think an open mic. I think I sent her the Dr. Mary Ellen's open mic. I don't know if you heard that, Mary, but
I did. It was wonderful.
And I sent that to her and I go, this is just another example of kind of the philosophies we're espousing, just thought of you. She wrote back and she goes, I love everything you're doing, but the win calls really aren't for me. I don't know. I'm back to doing Weight Watchers. And she's never ordered. Like, she just came to a couple of win calls. I moved it to the phone. I'm just saying, Bracy, oh no, I texted her from that. And I said, it's fine. I go, you don't have to like the win calls. I'm really just looking for people that want to link arms with me and help change the world and impact people. Well, now you're talking my language, she says. Yeah. Now you're speaking my language. When can we talk? See, I didn't say, and she's put all her weight back on from Take Shape, and she's, she's not interested. And she even said, Kim, I get on a win call and I'm just done with bullshit. Like, get to the point. What are we doing here? What's in it for me? And how can I change the world? She went and did a John Maxwell coaching certificate. I can see that she really wants to serve, but she doesn't have a platform.
She does need that platform. Yeah.
And guess what?
It's funny you say that, because I had just gone through that.
What?
Yep. Well, it's just funny because I was in the same conundrum, like, I just want people to love themselves. Yeah. I was just like, I want women, girls, especially young women and girls. That just tends to be where my brain is wired toward, because it speaks so highly to me, to learn how to love themselves.
Yep.
How to set boundaries, how to, and I know a lot of this just has to do with my story as a child, and
exactly.
And the journey I went through as a young adult to get here. And you know, and that's
Which is the
what,
gift you have to offer the world.
yeah,
Your
that speaks so
struggles.
highly to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went through what I went through, I'm no longer a victim to. It's a story of, you know, that you can get through. You don't have to live in that mindset of
Yep.
shame and guilt. And,
Yep.
you know,
And
so
people go, well, what does that have to do with losing weight? People just want to come in and lose weight. Well, the chosen few are going to hear that deeper message that, oh, this isn't really about weight loss. This is about getting to that hurt, that wound, and not doing therapy. I mean, honestly, I've seen
no,
so
we're
many
not.
people rewire. We don't need to discuss all your in fact, the more we
Yes.
discuss your problems or the problems of your past and your wounds and your pains and the
Yep.
struggles,
Re-
the more you embed them deeper. Let's
Yep.
move on, but
Mhm.
let's understand that unless that identity issue of me, am I a hurt, wounded, broken, fat, unprotected, you know, person, or am I healed and am I creating and am I moving forward with my purpose for being on the planet? That's what we're doing. And in the process of doing that, you're going to heal and lots of stuff's going to emerge. All the blockages, you have now a new choice to make. That's what has to happen every day. We're not going to learn our way out of the situation. We're going to experience our way out. We have to go in and what you can feel, you can heal. You got to be able to get to it so that it can move through. So that's what we're doing 5 minutes on a win call. That's what we're doing in Ignite Vision. We're activating that part of people and letting them come in tune with that so that now we got to go. Let's go. The need in the world is great. Oh, and here's some food you can eat along the way.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's food.
It just speaks to me. I love that. And you know, I am a therapist. I'm an occupational therapist, but
you're the one that told me. I'm just now remembering. Okay. Remember you telling me about wiring?
Yeah. Neuroplasticity.
Yes. Okay. I knew firing and wiring, but I didn't
Yeah.
in my book when I was reading, like I was researching, I'm like, nobody's really saying what fires and nobody's really saying what wires. They just say, well, wires together. Yeah. Well, what does that really mean? And you said, well, this was you. I forgot this. You go, well, I don't know about the firing, but the wiring is repetition. We teach people to pick up a pen, pick up a pen.
Yep.
Pick up a
That
pen,
was me.
That was you. I
Yeah.
refer to you all the time, but I forgot. I didn't know who said that to me. I said it was an occupational therapist. I had a call with that told me. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. That was me. And yeah, because I do it from the perspective of obviously, you know, from a stroke, from an impairment standpoint, but it's the same concept. And even last Saturday, the doctor, she said, you know, the brain is plastic. It's neuroplasticity. That's what we're doing here. And I love it.
It would be awesome if you could share this on a win call or even do like a live in Together We Win and just introduce yourself and say, I'm an occupational therapist. This is what I do with my patients. And it is proven, like, because I feel like
there's research.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people will hear that because when you can compare, you know, when somebody just tells you one thing, it's like, well, I don't know if I believe it, but when you hear somebody else and you're like, yeah, this makes like.
Well, and the point of it for you, for this situation is we're not picking up a pen, but this is how the repeated, that's why win calls had to be every day.
Yep.
Because it's a repeated emotional state. We are repeating by choice now. We're not going to our default programming. We're choosing from the higher level consciousness going, wait, oh, you mean those thoughts aren't really true? They're just thoughts? Oh, you mean those emotions aren't really true? They're just emotions?
Yeah.
Oh, my brother's calling. But I got to go anyway. I have another call. I love you guys.
Love you.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Carrie.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Good day.